What's going on, everyone? So, breaking news, Bradley Beal has officially been traded to the Phoenix Suns. It is a package that includes Chris Paul, Landry Shamet, a handful of second-round picks, and multiple pick swaps, league sources tell The Athletic. So, basically, the Washington Wizards just gave Bradley Beal away for free. Basically a couple second-round picks. Because the pick swaps you're not going to use because Phoenix is going to be pretty good for the next 3 to 5 years. So, you're not going to use those pick swaps. And Chris Paul, you're waiving. Landry Shamet, you're probably waiving. So they basically just traded to unload Bradley Beal's contract. They just wanted to get off of Bradley Beal's contract for the rebuild, which is what I said from the beginning, right? Like, I had so many people tell me I was an idiot and I didn't know what I was talking about, and they're not just going to give Bradley Beal away. And I said, you're wrong. They are going to just give Bradley Beal away. And guess what? They just gave Bradley Beal away. Now, it wasn't to the Lakers. Like I said, I could see the Lakers going and acquiring Bradley Beal. A lot of people were on the fence, and I completely understand it, right? His big, massive contract. My only thought process was, one, it's something that the Lakers would do. Two, if the Lakers did it, at least they would have depth, where the Phoenix Suns in this department, I don't understand this for them. Like, for Miami, I get it, right? Miami, yes, you have like this top heavy big three, but they're really good at finding these diamond in the roughs, and they already have guys under contract that they could keep long term that, kind of round out the roster. The Lakers, right? Yes, it would have been LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Bradley Beal. The new CBA would have made things tough, but you would have had a entire roster already. So who cares? The CBA only affects you if you're trying to improve and get better. Lakers wouldn't need that. They would have just gotten the roster and been better. You would have Bradley Beal, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Jared Vanderbilt, Rui Hachimura, Austin Reeves, Max Christie. Like, you're good, right? Like, at that point, you're just trying to find, one or two free agents at the vet minimum that can come in and help. Chris Paul, something like that, right? So it made more sense. But for the Phoenix Suns, they don't have any of that. They have 4 guys under contract. They have Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, DeAndre Ayton, all making $161.5 million total. Now, my guess is they trade DeAndre Ayton now and go and try to get like 2 or maybe 3 quality rotation guys, because they're in trouble. And on top of that, Bradley Beal and his injury history, along with Kevin Durant, they're not going to have the depth to supplement that. Right? Like, if Bradley Beal got hurt for 3 months, the Lakers would have been fine. Or if Bradley Beal got hurt for 3 months, Miami would have been fine. Because Miami, they still had Bam Adebayo. They still very likely would have kept Tyler Hero. They still would have had, Jimmy Butler. Like, those kind of things. Where if the Phoenix Suns, if Bradley Beal misses like 3 months, they might be screwed. Because Kevin Durant, if he gets hurt, that's it. They might not even be a play-in team. Depending on how far they are. If they're all healthy and they're all good, like, good luck trying to stop them. It's going to be a handful, but who are they going to stop? They're going to be undersized. They're going to have no depth. They're going to have no defense. People are going to, hype the Phoenix Suns up like they are the second coming of the Warriors with Kevin Durant. And like I said last season, when they went and got Kevin Durant, they're not going to be very good and they're not going to win anything. And I don't think that they're going to win anything this year. I still don't think that they're going to get over the Denver Nuggets. I still think the Lakers could smack them. The Warriors, I think, could still give them a handful. Like, I don't like. So what are they going to do? They probably play Bradley Beal at the 1, Devin Booker at the 2, because you need a switchable defensive wing. So, yes, could you go Devin Booker at the 3? Sure, but you're better off going and trying to get like a Stanley Johnson who can defend the perimeter, right? And so go Beal at the point, Booker at the 2, KD at the 4, or you could do him at the 3, whatever, and then go get, a sizable forward that can defend multiple positions. That's what you need, and then try to go get a shot blocking, rebounding center. That's what I would look for if I was the Phoenix Suns. But I mean, look, Bradley Beal, he's going to the Phoenix Suns. He got out of that Washington Wizards situation. He's still going to get paid regardless. We'll see what else the Phoenix Suns do. Depending on what the Phoenix Suns are able to do, they could still win an NBA championship. And I mean, look, things happen, right? Like if, Murray, knock on wood, if like Murray goes down, then yeah, I think the Suns could beat them. Stuff happens. I just think that they are going to be extremely top heavy. They're trying to replicate what the Brooklyn Nets did with James Harden. But the difference is James Harden is really good at that like point guard playmaking role. But also they already had guys there established before the trade. They had Nick Claxton, they had Joe Harris and Seth Curry and guys like that. That made sense. So it wasn't just James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving. There were other guys that could do the dirty work and go in. Oh, and a Bruce Brown, right? They had Bruce Brown at that point. So you had guys that could do the dirty work and, make hustle plays and rebound and defend and do all of those things. So it's really interesting. But from a Lakers standpoint, one, they don't have to worry about Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal is now a Phoenix Sun, so there's not going to be that concern of like, would the Lakers go through it? And also Chris Paul, right? So Chris Paul was in that deal, in that exchange. He's going to get waived, and I fully expect him to be a Laker. Now, could he go elsewhere? Could he go somewhere else? Sure, absolutely, of course. But more likely than not, I just see him going to Lakers. All of the reports were like he wants to be a Laker. He wants to go play with LeBron. He wants to kind of like go back to like that moment where he felt like he was going to be a Laker again. And I do think the Lakers could really use him. If the Lakers acquire Chris Paul, then that's going to be very interesting because what do you do with like D'Angelo Russell? Do you trade him? Do you keep him? Do you try to go and have them be your point guards for the next year or two? Chris Paul on the Lakers, I think, makes a lot of sense. I know a lot of people really don't like the idea of Chris Paul, but I'm telling you, man, this guy, he's not going to have to be the second option like he was on the Phoenix Suns or the Houston Rockets or the Los Angeles Clippers, right? He gets to just be the Rajon Rondo role. He gets to come in at a vet minimum, maybe a taxpayer mid-level at the most. He's coming in dirt cheap. You're not paying him $30 million. He's a guy that has experience. That's one of the best basketball minds we've ever seen. Like, the guy can play make. The guy can still score. The guy is still a mid-range guy. You always could have a LeBron James or a Chris Paul on the court at all times. That is brilliant. That has so much value. And this is a guy that he's now not going to have to play 35 to 40 minutes a game. That was a real problem. He had to go and he had to play 35 to 40 minutes a game on the Phoenix Suns. And he gets worn down and because he is older, and then he ends up getting hurt, and then he ends up missing a bunch of time where he's not going to have that on the Lakers. He could only play 15 minutes. Like, that's all we need, right? Like, you could have, whether it's D'Lo or maybe they keep Schroeder or whatever, right? Because there's a lot of talks about, which one would they prefer. Let's say it's D'Lo. You can have D'Lo handle the workload over the course of the regular season, or an Austin Reeves, right? Have them handle the workload over the course of the regular season, and then Chris Paul's fresh, prime, ready to go come the playoffs. And Chris Paul, there's a lot of people that really want Kyrie Irving, right? Chris Paul has played more games over the last 3 years than Kyrie Irving has. So I think if the Lakers can land Chris Paul, they're going to do it. I mean, all the reports are like, yeah, they absolutely want Chris Paul. Chris Paul makes a lot of sense for the Lakers. He has his relationship with LeBron James. And like, again, when you look at, let's look at his last 4 years, right? The last 4 years from when he was on OKC that last year to the 3 years in Phoenix, right? OKC, he played 70 games. That first year in Phoenix, he played 70 games. That second year in Phoenix, he played 65 games. And last year, he played 59 games. So the guy isn't as injury prone as people make it out to be. The guy the last 4 years has actually played the game of basketball about as much as anybody. It's just been the timing of the injuries. But again, that's because he's playing 40 minutes a game over 70 games. And he has to be the second guy, so he still has to score, he still has to play make, he still has to do it. Where if he comes to the Lakers, he doesn't have to do any of that. All he has to do is just come on the court and play make. Can you just give us 8 and 8 a game? That's it. We don't need you to be a superstar. We don't need you to be Charlotte Hornets, Clippers Chris Paul. No, we just need you to be the typical, like, hey, you're a starting level rotation point guard. We need you to just give us 8 and 8. But the difference is you have Chris Paul with his brilliant mindset. Think of what he's going to do for Anthony Davis. Operating and running in the pick and roll. Like, Anthony Davis had his best year with Rajon Rondo, both with the Pelicans and with the Lakers, because Rondo was able to put him in positions to have success, to catch the lob, to operate and run in the pick and roll. That's what Chris Paul's going to do. Chris Paul is going to make Anthony Davis probably a 30-point-a-game guy. Like, because that's been the problem. We haven't had a guy that can get the ball to Anthony Davis and get the ball to him consistently, especially down the stretch when teams are packing him in. Chris Paul can do that. Chris Paul will know and figure out and understand where he works. I look at it and I just think Chris Paul makes all the sense in the world. Because again, you're not paying him $30 million. But I'm pretty confident Chris Paul is going to be a Laker. Now you never know. Stuff happens, but I'm pretty confident about it. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you want Chris Paul on the Lakers? Do you not? What did you think of the Bradley Beal trade? Is it shocking? Is it not? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. Let me know.